The COVID-19 pandemic has decimated the motorcycle road racing season, but one event is taking place here in Northern Ireland. This is what we've all been missing.
Then we're away. It will be win number 2 for Derek McGee. Unleashed onto the circuit. Shields up the inside.
It's number 13 on the inside. Unbelievable.
Got away well, didn't he?
Oh, he's got on the gravel now, so
no!
Oh, Garcili is down.
Look at it, it's just like being attacked by a rubber band.
Oh, he's down.
Harrison does not fall off motorbike.
Oh, Harrison and Hickman.
This is perfect racing weather.
Well, not many thought we'd see some thrilling high-speed action between the hedges this year, but Ireland's oldest road race is ready to go. I'm delighted to say welcome to the Cookstown 100 after a very difficult time for everyone. It's great to be back here amongst the road racing family, albeit at a social distance. The Cookstown 100 Club, after consultation with the Northern Ireland Executive and health officials, were permitted to run the event with a total of 2,500 fans over 2 days. Spectators are only allowed to watch from one of 10 designated areas. Very strict coronavirus protocols are in place for everyone attending and for all the competitors and their teams. Each rider is only permitted 2 other personnel.
As you can see around you here, there's a lot of change in the paddock and the area of the fields there. You know, everybody's separated by steel barriers and limited numbers, so we're having the biggest crowd, you know, so this is it's a different type of Cookstown 100, but this we'll take what we can get, you know.
Strange times, but essential, so that we can all enjoy some road racing, and the riders simply can't wait to get back out on track. Here are some to look out for. Adam McLean rides for McAdoo Kawasaki and is one of the favourites at his team's home race. He's won here for the last 3 years.
The weather's looking a bit iffy here at the minute, but looking forward to just getting out and enjoying it. Obviously, this event's it's a bit of fun more than anything else, and getting the bikes out and getting the McAdoo team out racing again.
Oh, McLean! Oh, McLean's off!
Back to full fitness now. I think the lockdown and the COVID situation actually helped me, because at the start of the year I still wasn't fully fit, so those extra few months gave me a chance to get fully fit again. So no, none of my injuries are giving me any trouble now, so happy enough.
Paul Jordan makes his debut for the Burrows Engineering RK Racing team.
Yeah, as I say, I was feeling a wee bit nervous this morning. It was just more like anxious because, you know, we've waited 18 months to get back to road racing.
New team?
John, at the start of the year, you know, approached me, and, you know, it would be silly to say refuse the offer, you know, because with me being local and him being local, it was something that I wanted to do many years ago. So it's nice to be here, and I'm looking forward to representing John's team and, you know, and just getting going.
Michael Sweeney is a multiple Irish road race champion and former race winner at Cookstown.
It's great to get a road race under the way this year. Looking forward to a pity. Hopefully it dries out a little bit, you know, and we can get a decent run later on. You know, it's a long time since we've seen everyone, you know, it's just came here this morning, everyone's just coming over talking, 2 meters apart obviously, but yeah, no, it's great to see everyone, it's great.
Derek Shields, the current Irish Superbike champion. He's had a win here every year since 2014.
It's fantastic, you know. It was a long old summer without it. It was a quiet summer, and obviously with lockdown and COVID-19, this pandemic, you know, it sort of gets a grip on you, and, you know, there's not a whole pile you can do, but yeah, no, to be back out on the bike is fantastic. Managed to win a few races over the years, you know. It's always been good to me, this event, and, you know, I enjoy it, and, you know, it's fun at the end of the day, so that's what we're here for.
Stay tuned for more road racing from the Cookstown 100. The Cookstown 100 is, of course, normally the curtain raiser to the season. This year, it's the first and last road race. So the riders and all the fans here are going to make sure they enjoy every little bit of racing around this well-known Orator circuit. At 2.1 miles, it's the shortest of the road race circuits in Northern Ireland, but always produces some superb action. There's a long start-finish straight before the course weaves its way through the countryside. There are twists and turns, a jump and an off-camber bend before a crossroads to the checkered flag. The first race of the day is the Super Sports. The weather is dry, there's a little bit of sunshine and a small breeze. Let's go racing. This then is how the Supersport riders will line up. In pole position yet again, Adam McLean, a race winner here last year at Cookstown before his horrific accident at Tandragee. Alongside him on the front row, Paul Jordan and Darrell Tweed. Then it's Sweeney, Brown and Kennedy with Tom Maxwell on row 3.
Sizing lap completed. Many of the fastest men in Irish road racing are on the grid for this one, the Supersport 600s. We just rode into position on row 2 with Mike Brown, one of the up-and-coming names. Pole position. Great to see Adam McLean back in road racing after missing out pretty much on all of 2019 after his injury at Tandragee. He's in pole position. Michael Sweeney, who's the Irish road racing 600 champion. The flag about to wave as the 600 screen down towards goal for the first time. It's McLean who looks like he's going to lead, and Paul Jordan just tucks in behind. Mike Brown looking to go past his teammates as they come down, but I think it's going to be fairly orderly. Oh, Michael Sweeney hopping and skipping and jumping, losing 2 positions at least. But this could be a corker. It's Adam McLean who leads. Let's watch this again from Mike Brown's onboard camera. Just pushes into 3rd position from row 2. And then it's all about who can break the latest into this tight right-hand turn. It is Tweed up into 3rd place. Now here comes the second wave, and Cole Phillips overshooting while he was at the back of the pack on the grid for the start. He's obviously been on the juice, but overcooked it. Playing Jordan Tweed, a gap, going back to Sweeney and Brown. Adam McLean leading. So McLean from Jordan, from Tweed. This battle between Mike Brown and Michael Sweeney for 4th position. But they need to tag on to the 3 guys ahead of them if they can. So Adam McLean will cross the line in 1st place at the end of lap 1. It's going to be very tight. I would suggest there'll be around a second between them, or covering them as they go past and begin lap 2. Indeed it is, half a second between McLean and Jordan. 3/10 back to Darrell Tweed. Then 1.2 seconds to Mike Brown, half a second back to Sweeney. Another 3 seconds back to Kennedy, who's just a 1/10 of a second ahead of 7th place, Neil Kernahan. Adam McLean, who's been racing in the National 600 Superstock Championship in England. So he's certainly been, he's race fit, you could say. We're right on board with the man in 5th place, Michael Sweeney. But back to McLean leading as Tweed suggests perhaps a move on Jordan, not there. But he may just appear in vision as they come through here towards Farm Jump. Michael Brown and Michael Sweeney still losing touch with the first 3. Sweeney has to do something about Mike Brown first. Tweed all over the back of Jordan, certainly going into the turn, but maybe losing a little bit of speed out of it. So here they go, 2 laps completed, and I would say it's as you were. So they come up to the line now to begin lap 3, and it is again half a second between McLean and Jordan. 4 tenths to Darrell Tweed. Tweed lost a tenth of a second. Then 1.5 seconds back to Mike Brown. 9 tenths back to Michael Sweeney. So the gaps between 3rd, 4th and 5th have opened up slightly. Paul Jordan in 2nd place, looking to make up that little gap on McLean if he can. Well, I said it would be a cracker, and I think that's what we're getting. And I think we're going to see something of Darrell Tweed in this race as well. Looking back from Adam McLean, the race leader, into Mackney, and now there I would suggest there's a bigger gap. Oh, Darrell Tweed putting down black lines into the right-hand turn. He is trying, he doesn't want to let go of the man who's just taking bits of hedge with him. That's Paul Jordan, right up to the edge. Tweed spectacular, so too Brown. Sweeney still holding 5th position. So 3 laps almost completed, and certainly bigger gaps this time, timing-wise, between the top 5, I would suggest. So here they go to cross the line. Lap 3, fastest laps for McLean and Jordan and Brown, but not for Darrell Tweed. He's lost a little bit of ground. He was 3 tenths of a second slower on that previous lap. But he's still, well, he's a second down on Paul Jordan and a second ahead of Mike Brown. So it could end up being a 2-way thing between McLean and Jordan. They were the 2 fastest men in qualifying. McLean having the edge in qualifying over Jordan. And he has the edge over Jordan, who's really trying to close that gap down to Adam McLean if he can. Through Mackney. He lost a tenth of a second on McLean that time. So we're on the mid-lap of the race, lap 4 of 7. So through the right left-hand flip, past what was the old finish line here, just there, and now down to the new one, and McLean from Jordan. Everyone's slightly slower except Jordan, who's put in the fastest lap of the race so far. Hang on to your hats, folks. This is far from over. Jordan has narrowed the gap down by a tenth of a second on Adam McLean and pulled a second or a tenth of a second over Darrell Tweed. Half a second between McLean and Jordan, which is as it was for the first 2 laps, and 1.1 seconds back to Tweed. Mike Brown in 4th place, 1 second down on Tweed, and just over a second ahead of Sweeney, with Neil Kernahan still in 6th place, but he's a good 11 seconds down. Can Paul Jordan put in another lap and close that gap down to the race leader? Jordan with a 1:25.8. Lane's fastest lap so far, 1:25.9, and he's done that twice. However, he was slightly slower on lap 4. There's Mike Brown racing on the R6 Yamaha for the John Burroughs racing team alongside Paul Jordan, his teammate. He's not alongside him on the road though, just back in 4th place. So across the line they go again. Oh, the gap's opened up once more. McLean's found another 0.2 of a second. 0.7 of a second the gap over Paul Jordan. 0.8 of a second between Jordan and Darrell Tweed. So Darrell Tweed is gaining on Paul Jordan in second. Then it's 1.7 back to Mike Brown, 1.3 back to Sweeney. Mike Brown just losing touch with the top 3. Well, Paul Jordan was thinking about Adam McLean, but now he may have to think more about Darrell Tweed, who's in 3rd place but has gained certainly time and space on the road. Jordan making his way through the slower riders. And this could really mix things up. It's about how the cards fall. And Jordan right in the pack, just making his way past Degnan. I don't think it really... Oh, now then! Paul Jordan, I was just about to say, I don't think it's affected anyone, but certainly Paul Jordan has just lost the position as Darrell Tweed goes through into 2nd place. So on the penultimate lap of the race, it's Darrell Tweed in 2nd. And more traffic as well. Paul Jordan will not be happy. Here comes Jordan. They're side by side going down towards Gordon. Paul Jordan wants that position back. It was 0.1 of a second between them at the end of that lap. Oh, but Tweed's got the inside line. Can he turn in time? Oh, and he's done it, but it's about the exit speed now out of the corner as well. Can Jordan just get on it a little bit more than Darrell Tweed and reclaim 2nd position? And all the while they're scrapping for 2nd place, this man, Adam McLean, seems to be on his way to race victory. He was almost 0.8 of a second faster than Darrell Tweed, and Tweed now in 2nd. Can he close that gap, having taken Jordan? But he's got a lot to think about with Jordan not hot in his tail in 3rd place. This is far from over. What a fantastic final lap this could be. Well, here's Neil Kernahan still down in 7th place. He was 16 seconds down on Sweeney. But here they come. And I think if Tweed was going to do anything about McLean, he would have needed to have been closer to the race leader at this point in the race than he is at the moment. And he's got Paul Jordan breathing right down his neck. Here they come. McLean should have this, as long as he doesn't have any problems on this little right-left chicane. Tweed in 2nd place will be protecting his line from Paul Jordan. My goodness, what a race this has been. Adam McLean back in Irish road racing with a victory. He takes the checkered flag. Darrell Tweed was 2nd and Paul Jordan in 3rd position. Oh, and Paul Jordan, fastest lap of the race on that final lap. So boy, was he trying. 125.7. But it's Adam McLean who takes the spoils. Well, that thriller sees Neil Kernahan in 6th place behind Michael Sweeney, Mike Brown in 4th, Paul Jordan having to settle for 3rd with Darrell Tweed 2nd, and Adam McLean the race winner.
Yeah, very nice to get the first race victory of the year, and also it's been my first road race since my accident in Tandragee last year, so yeah, really nice to get that one under the belt, and another 600 win around here. And also it was nice to be able to stop Winston and all my family around the track watching from his home. So yeah, special one today. Yeah, happy with that, and big thanks to all the team for a fantastic job, and all our sponsors for making it all possible. So yeah, delighted.
Coming up next, more road racing from Northern Ireland. Welcome back. Let's return to Cookstown for more road racing.
The Junior Supersport race lined up and almost ready to go. It's Super Twin 650s, a few 400s and a few 250s as well. The red flag's away. It's engaged geared, and watch the flag. So away they go. And it's 121 Michael Gillen who leads them. Mark Johnston on 46. 1-2-2's Chris Meyer side by side with Johnson for second place. Also in there, 1-1-7 Anthony Lillis as the next wave gets away. And you can hear the Super Twins roar as they head down towards Gorton. This is the third wave, Billy Lyle. Billy Lyle, the unmistakable sound of a Honda 250 leaving a start line. Into McAdoo, it is indeed Michael Gillen who leads from Mark Johnson. Threatening to pull away from the other riders, the likes of Chris Meyer, etc. This is Billy Lyle of the third wave. Well, Michael Gillen and Mark Johnson continue to pull away. 136 is indeed O'Donovan, so he has passed Chris Meyer. I'll have to look out for the second wave of riders as well, because there were some quick men in Group B. But here are the quickest men on the road so far. And it will be Michael Gillen's name. He'll be top of the leaderboard at the end of lap 1. Mark Johnson should be in second place. We'll have to wait and see what happens with wave number 2 when they come through. But here comes Gillen to cross the line now. So it's Gillen from Johnson, 0.8 of a second. John O'Donovan is in third, but for how long? Here they come, the next wave over the line they go. Well, RJ Woolsey's already gone through, and RJ Woolsey, who's in Group B, has slotted into third place. He's around 3.5 seconds down on the leading pair, but he's just over a second ahead as someone goes on at Gorton. Oh, in fact, something's happened at Gorton. Here we go again. Oh dear, oh dear. 37 into the back of 17. That is Hogan hitting Ford. Ford, the newcomer. Going up to complete lap number 2. It's still Gillen from Johnson. The gap pretty much the same as it was on the previous lap. Differing lines going through the chicane. But we're looking back at RJ Woolsey, the man in third place. The 3 laps completed then, and Johnson has taken 0.6 of a second out of Gillen on that lap. Gillen with the fastest lap of the race so far on lap number 2, but he has lost a little bit of time to Mark Johnson. RJ Woolsey already gone through, he's still in third place. That's Hatch on bike 68. So wave 2 riders already mixing it with wave 1. Here are the 2 fastest men, and by some distance, 7.5 seconds ahead of Woolsey. Meanwhile, this is Billy Lyle, who is way down the order at the moment, just ahead of Sean Wynne. Gillen from Johnson still. And no matter how hard he tries, Johnson just cannot seem to make up the distance between himself and the race leader. 1-1-7, that was Willis, down in 4th place. So 0.8 of a second the difference that time, so Gillen 0.2 faster than he was on the previous lap than Mark Johnson. Well, there's an incredible battle going on. It's mixed between wave 1 and wave 2 riders, but they're all within a second of each other, or pretty much a second. Chris Meyer, Darren Duncan, Francis O'Hara, Lee Osprey, John O'Donovan. 1-2-2 is Chris Meyer. He's in 7th place, but he's got about 6 other riders, all within a second or so of him on the leaderboard. Well, the race leaders right in amongst the traffic now. Billy Lyle being passed by Michael Gillen. Mark Johnson will be next on 46. Not where Johnson would have wanted to have found Billy Lyle. Through he goes, but that has cost Johnson. And meanwhile, Mick Gittings has been passed by the race leader as well, so that worked out very well for Michael Gillen, not so much for Mark Johnson. And again, Johnson just finding the back marker at the wrong part of the circuit. is going into the turn. So that really is now advantage for Michael Gillen, the race leader, as they go on for this last lap. The leaders have crossed the line, and it's Gillen 3 seconds ahead of Johnson now, so the back mark has certainly worked in his favour, and it's going to take something very special from this man to catch the race leader now on this final lap. 1:17. Anthony Lillis still in 4th place, but he's around 8 seconds down on RJ Woolsey, who still holds 3rd place, but he of course is in wave 2. That's why he's not in the picture at the moment. Gillen looks to have this one sewn up as long as he doesn't encounter any more trouble with back markers in the same way that Mark Johnson did. Here comes this battle for 7th place. 136 John O'Donovan ahead of Chris Meyer. So O'Donovan moving back up the leaderboard. On the road he is ahead of Aaron Hatch, but Aaron Hatch is in wave B. Aaron Hatch holds 5th place at the moment. 105. That's Duncan. Back with Billy Lyle. It looks like he may be closing in on Gittings, is it? The checkered flag is ready and waiting for Michael Gillen. Here he comes, takes the win, and it's the fastest lap. He had gone quicker on lap 5, but he's now gone 1:34.9 to take the victory. Mark Johnson will be 2nd. We'll have to wait and see about 3rd place. Unfortunately for RJ Woolsey, having held 3rd for so long, he failed to finish. That means Anthony Lillis takes the 3rd place on the podium. Mark Johnson is 2nd, with Michael Gillen the race winner. 3 waves of riders for the Junior Classic. This is predominantly 250 and 350cc machines. In pole position, John Lee Pemberton. Alongside him, Barry Davidson. Linton Owen completes row number 1. Away they go. Oh, almost for John Lee Pemberton. Not the start he was anticipating, of course. So his pole position advantage is gone. Barry Davidson takes over. Lee Pemberton, though, looking to hit back up the inside. This is the next wave away. We're riding on board with Billy Lyle on the 2nd row of wave number 2. So it's Barry Davidson from Mark Johnson. John Lee Pemberton is there in 3rd, then Richard Ford, Linton Irwin, bike 77, followed by Jonathan Doran and Ian Thompson. Riding once again with Billy Lyle down into McAdoo for the very first time in this Junior Classic. Billy Lyle, one of the riders on the Honda 350. Not far then to the end of lap 1. It's Barry Davidson who leads from Mark Johnson, from John Lee Pemberton. These 3 already threatening to break away from Richard Ford. Oh, and a move perhaps from Johnson. He goes the long way around, but he manages to take 1st place from Barry Davidson. So the end of lap 1, it is indeed Mark Johnson who leads. Barry Davidson in 2nd, John Lee Pemberton in 3rd. Half a second covering the top 3, and here comes Barry Davidson again to take the lead. He does indeed regain 1st place from Mark Johnson, and we could be seeing a lot of this over the next few laps. John Lee Pemberton just happy and content to sit there in 3rd place for the moment. Billy Lyle crosses the line. None of the 2nd wave have broken into the top 7 positions. Barry Davidson will be watching him for Mark Johnson again as they go through the Orator Crossroads. Make sure he doesn't have a repeat of that overtaking manoeuvre. Billy Lyle down in 13th position. Davison, Johnson, Lee Pemberton. Richard Ford still in 4th place, but he's a good 4 or 5 seconds back. Here comes number 2, Freddie Stewart. A little bit of oil there, please. Owen Davidson swings it out this time. But I think he's done him again, Mark Johnson. He has. It's a repeat performance. Mark Johnson goes through to take the lead. Well, Mark Johnson and Barry Davidson side by side. John Lee Pemberton with the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:47.9. The only rider inside 1:48 as Davidson hits the front once again. John Lee Pemberton thinks about second place, but thinks about staying in third. Well, as things go, if Mark Johnson can do that on each lap, then he should just get to the checkered flag ahead of Barry Davidson. Slower traffic for the riders to contend with. Billy Lyle across the line. He is chasing Rob McCrum and Phil Shaw. Still nothing between these three as they hit Mackney. Good 11 seconds or so back to fourth place. That's Richard Ford. Linton Irwin in fifth. Jonathan Doran in sixth place. Into McAdoo for Billy Lyle. So here they come, the race leaders again. However, this time there could be a potential spanner in the works in the shape of number 52. That is Peter Shannon. And Peter Shannon will do enough to block, will he? Oh, here they come again. Johnson on the inside, but Davidson will hit the front first this time, will he? Here they go, and it's Davidson who crosses the line in first place on this occasion. So it's Davidson who leads from Johnson, and also he doesn't have to pass Johnson going into Gorton this time. Can Gorton beat Johnson's on this occasion? He's got the inside. Can he turn it in time? He can. So Mark Johnson goes through on Barry Davidson. Barry Davidson, by the way, with the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:47.7. 51 and 63. That was Andy Kildare and Ian Thompson. Again, it's Johnson who leads from Barry Davidson. While those two are swapping first and second place, John Lee Pemberton just content to sit behind in third place and see if anything should come his way. Billy Lyle, meanwhile, into Gorton. Here they come again, and it is Davidson this time, and he will see the last lap flag in first place. Is Johnson close enough to make a move at Gorton? John Lee Pemberton perhaps just dropping off the pace of the front two. Johnson's not going to do it, is he? Oh, he's trying to leave it as late as he can, but he won't. Davidson, Barry Davidson is a master around Cookstown on a classic machine. And it looks as if Barry Davidson perhaps is just... Oh, John Lee Pemberton in trouble. John Lee Pemberton in trouble. Oh dear, it looked as if a podium was on for John Lee Pemberton. Just a second covering the top three at the end of lap 5. So here comes Barry Davidson. He's got a good 3 seconds now ahead of Mark Johnson. The anticipated side-by-side finish has not happened. It's Barry Davidson who wins. A handsome advantage in the end. It was a real nip and tuck kind of race between himself and Mark Johnson. They'll have plenty to talk about in the paddock after this. Oh, fastest lap of the race on that last lap for Barry Davidson. So Richard Ford just gets third place from Linton Irwin by 0.4 of a second. Mark Johnson in second, with Barry Davidson the race winner.
Stay with us for more racing from Cookstown. Hello again. Let's return to Northern Ireland and the Cookstown 100. Let's check out the grid then for the Super Twin race. In pole position, Adam McLean. Alongside him on the front row, Darrell Tweed and Michael Sweeney. Row 2, Neil Kernahan, Stephen McKnight and Vinnie Brennan. And it's 11 years since we had the very first dedicated Super Twin race at Cookstown. And the winner on that occasion, a certain Mr. Ryan Farquhar.
Qualifying for Super Twins was dominated by two men, Adam McLean and Darrell Tweed. They were both 3 seconds faster than the man we've just pulled up onto the grid with. That was Michael Sweeney. Neil Kernahan's on row 2 alongside him. Vinnie Brennan and Stephen McKnight. Now just out of the shot, it looks like Stephen McKnight might have an issue or two. In fact, he's pulling me off the grid. So we're going to wait just a second longer. Red flag comes out again. The Stevens bike is off. What a shame, he won't be starting this one. But here we go. Flag goes up. McLean responds superbly. So he's on his way, and already he leads from his teammate Darrell Tweed. But Michael Sweeney in third place, or is he up into second as they go into Gorton? It's third place, so it's McLean and Tweed making it a McAdoo 1-2 as they head down to the turn at McAdoo, riding with Vinnie Brennan. A row 2 starter. Oh, and it goes past Sean Seddon. Well, Seddon had passed him off the grid because he'd started on row 3. Meanwhile, next row is away now. Next wave, Gillen on bike 121, heading that one. So here comes the race leader, Adam McLean from his teammate Darrell Tweed. Michael Sweeney third. Neil Kernahan is back in fourth place. We're riding with Michael Sweeney, the two McAdoo bikes just up ahead of him. Well, he was around 3 seconds slower, his best time in qualifying, so he needs to have found something a little bit quicker. There's Kernahan in fourth, Brennan in fifth place, Seddon in sixth, and seventh place is Johnson. So we're coming up to complete the first lap. Adam McLean from Darrell Tweed. Seems to be around a second, maybe a little bit less between them. We'll find out when they break the timing beam. So Darrell Tweed in hot pursuit of his teammate Adam McLean. It's McLean from Tweed, from Sweeney, in a big gap back to fourth place already on lap number 2. So into Gorton, McLean. Tweed will look to make up some ground on the brakes if he can. He's holding it, and he slides the back. Just grips in time, and he's on his way again. Here comes Vinnie Brennan, bike 79. Oh, red flag's out. The red flag is out, so we've had 2 laps and we'll have to restart again. Six laps the distance this time. As we wait to get going once again, there's a gap or 2. McKnight is back on the grid, so it's worked in his favour. The issue that he had has been sorted, or he hopes it has. We'll find out over the next 6 laps. But once again, it's McLean who leads from Tweed. No Neil Kernahan or Sean Seddon on the starting grid this time, as Sweeney tips it into Gorton in third place. So it's a repeat of the previous first lap. Second wave into Gorton. And it's number 28, Paul Gartland, I think he was leading at that time. They're back with the man in second place. Down to this next tricky right-hand turn at Mackney, and he's much closer to McLean this time. Just 0.3 of a second slower in qualifying than his teammate. First Super Twins race I commentated on, or even watched for that matter, was back in 2009. Ryan Farquhar on the D&D bike, I remember, taking the win from Richard McCartney and Lee Hill. Darren Gilpin just missing out on the podium on that occasion. Good supported entry. So lap 2 about to be completed. Lap 3 about to begin. And the gap is 3.1 seconds back to Tweed. But just 0.2 between Tweed and Sweeney at the end of lap 3. So Sweeney is gaining on Tweed. Can he claim second place? Well, that first dedicated Super Twins race was back in 2009. I think there'd been some twins previously in the support classes the previous year, mixed in with like the 250s and 400s, but there were Suzuki's then rather than the Kawasaki's that we see today, or even that we saw back in 2009. McLean pulling further and further away. That gap is going to grow between him and Darrell Tweed, you feel, unless, of course, something untoward should happen. McLean, by the way, fastest lap of the race so far. He's posted a 128.0. He's the only rider inside 129 so far. Here's the man in fourth place, Stephen McKnight. He's 14 seconds down on Sweeney in third, as McLean leaves Tweed and Sweeney permanently, it would seem. Sweeney, though, all over the back of Darrell Tweed. He's looking for the drive out of this turn here, down onto the long straight. This is his best opportunity of making a move and grabbing second place. Here we go, Michael Sweeney. He's had to go the long way around, you could say, but can he stop it in time and get ahead? Oh my goodness, Darrell Tweed putting on the style, really leaving it late. And Tweed riding as if he deserves second place, certainly with braking like that. Sweeney attacks again, does he know, just holds off as they go down to McAdoo. Stephen McKnight back in fourth place. He's around 4 or 5 seconds slower than the guys ahead of him. Here's Vinnie Brennan into Gordon. This battle for second place continues to rage on. Adam McLean making his way past slower traffic. And here comes McLean. On to the last lap, there you go. The gap was 4.6 seconds last time, and it's 4.6 seconds again, so he's not pulled out too much of a lead. Perhaps slower traffic has just held him up. The Tweed from Sweeney still. James Rothery not quite getting in the way, thankfully. These two continue to go at it, hammer and tong, battling away, and all the while, as they scrap for second, this man, Adam McLean, on his way for victory at Cookstown. Man in fourth place still Stephen McKnight. Big gap to third to Sweeney, and a big gap back to the man in fourth place, Vinnie Brennan. Sweeney in the last chance saloon. Where can he find a move? It would have to be again a drag race to the line as they go through Braeside. We'll have to see. Sweeney is close as he dare, but he needs to get this drive out. Adam McLean already on his way towards the checkered flag. Here comes Adam McLean, takes the victory, but who is going to take second place? It looks as if it will be Darrell Tweed. It is Darrell Tweed, only just a tenth of a second ahead of Michael Sweeney. 3.7 seconds, the winning distance over second place for Adam McLean. But Sweeney and Tweed will have enjoyed that. So this is how it finishes, with Steve McKnight in fourth ahead of Vinnie Brennan. Michael Sweeney just missing out on second place to Darrell Tweed. Adam McLean, the race winner.
Took me a few laps at the start of the race to adjust to the riding style of the Super Twin. I missed a couple of apexes, but once we get settled in, we're happy enough. So big thanks to the team and all the sponsors. I think we took 0.7 off the lap record, which is a fair old chunk, and yeah, well done to Darrell. You know, I believe he's an underrated rider, and it's nice to see him in good machinery this weekend and showing us what he can do. So yeah, big well done to him. Nice.
So that's all the road racing for now, but there is more to come. Join us again next time for the second of our Cookstown 100 road racing programmes.